Hello, I'm Jim McDonald, and I'm in the Pacific Northwest. And because I'm in the Pacific Northwest, it's kind of drizzling on me. It seems appropriate. And I'm here with some blackberries. Actually, I'm here with a lot of there's a lot of blackberries here. This is Himalayan blackberry. I would say it's a Rubus species. And Rubus is the genus that blackberries and the raspberries and black raspberries are in. And largely within the Rubus genus, there's a lot of overlap in the way that they're used and the properties and virtues that they have. And then there's even a lot of overlap in rose family plants. In fact, the herbalist Michael Moore, not the movie guy, the herbalist, once came up with a term. I don't know if he only did it once, but he had a term that he used called yarfa, yet another rose family astringent. And that's not saying like, oh, it's in the rose family. It doesn't matter whether it's like cinquefoil or agrimony or rose or apple or blackberry. It means that a lot of the plants in the rose family are cooling astringents, and they have antioxidant flavonoids in them, and they have an astringent action in their leaves, and then usually their roots have a more forceful astringent action, right? A more concentrated astringent action. And we find this in blackberry. The leaves are wonderful and quite delicious astringent you can use that's on the milder end. And if you make something with blackberry roots, they're a lot more astringent. And so you would only use those when you need to like make tissue go and dry up and tighten up and stop leaking somewhere. Blackberry roots are kind of wonderful because this is an invasive species, and if you're like thinking, oh, if I gather roots, I'm gonna kill the plant, and that's not really sustainable, you can do it very sustainably with this. In fact, the blackberries will grow new roots for you, and then you can do it again, and they'll grow new roots for you, and you can do it again. But I use the leaves more often and most often, and honestly, I like using the leaves in tea. And it's because they're mildly astringent, not super astringent, not weakly astringent, mildly astringent, and mostly because they taste really good. They've got a great flavor. And so if I'm making different kinds of tea blends, sometimes I will put some blackberry leaves in there just because I like the way they taste, right? It's gonna add some astringency. So that means like a tightening effect that is lessening over secretion. But a lot of it is just like, I like the way they taste. And what will be an example of that? One example of that might be a favorite tea that I like, a good tea for many different cardiovascular, situations that you want to support, and that's kind of calming in nature, would be, let's see, oat straw and oat straw for the mineral nutrition, and blackberry leaves for some mild astringency, which is nice in teas, good pucker in your mouth, and flavor, and then linden bracts and flowers, which is soothing and calming and supportive for your heart and your cardiovascular function, especially if it gets a little bit over stressed out and causes you troubles. And then that's like a nice base, but then I always want, what am I gonna put in there to make it prettier? You can throw in some rose hips. Ooh, more flavonoids and more dark colored berry goodness. And then you can throw in maybe some dried blueberries or dried bilberries, which are underutilized in tea, but really make tea taste really good. And again, you're getting more antioxidant flavonoids. And that tea is delicious, and it's calming, and it's just generally supportive and helpful for your cardiovascular system. And it's easy to drink, and it's made super yum. I've used other things besides blackberry as my flavor and my mild astringent, and I like blackberry the best. It just tastes the most yummy. What else could we do? What would be another good tea? Oh, maybe you want to make a tea that's really supportive to your gastrointestinal mucosa, right? Because we all think about that when you're thinking like, what do I want to drink today? I want to drink something that's supportive to my gastrointestinal mucosa. I might want to make a tea that has a nice cooling anti-inflammatory astringent in it, like blackberry leaf, and then a nice demulcent in it to coat and soothe those tissues, like marshmallow root, and then a vulnerary, something that really supports the healing of those tissues, like plantain, and then some. That's just the good tea all right there, right? And we can keep those ingredients. And then I might want to add another aromatic plant for flavor and effect, an anti-inflammatory effect and a carminative effect and a relaxant effect. And that could be, oh, it could be fennel, if you like fennel. Oh, wait, yeah, you don't like fennel. It could be chamomile. Chamomile is going to like add a more calming effect and again be like wonderful and antispasmodic and anti-inflammatory and calming to your gut. That would be really good. Oh, you could use something like meadowsweet, right? Which has got some more astringency and a little bit of bitter. And you can keep swapping out your aromatic to sort of like tweak the flavor of that tea, but maintain the general overall support that that tea is going to provide for the mucosal tissue all throughout your digestive tract. And I've used that for people that have had problems like here. And I've used that same tea for people that have problems like here, and then there, and there, and up around there, and over that way, and then, hang on. Yeah, this way. And then around, and then there, and then there, and then, I get confused at this part all the time. Oh, yes, here. And then up and around, and then back down, and then out you know where. Wonderful stuff. Blackberry. Really, it adds astringency and awesome flavor. And I should stop now because there are people coming and dogs.